YouTube, and welcome back to another video. For you guys that are new here, my name is BB Austin. I usually do spiritually related videos. If that's something that you're interested in, please hit the subscribe button down below, as well as the notification bell to see whenever I post a new video. Before I jump into this video, which is going to be new book suggestions for spirituality, I first want to talk about my Metaphysical Shop. So I sell metaphysical oil, sell money oil. I also sell aura baths. I'm also going to be doing a sexual energy oil that I will be selling. If that's something that you're interested in, please take a look at the link down below to my Facebook page if you're interested in ordering. I also do tarot readings. Now, spiritual books to help you along your spiritual journey. Some of these I have read when I first started my spiritual journey. Some of these are rather recent, within the last year. Some of them I may have not even finished, but even just like the first half of it that I've read is just that amazing that I have to share it. So the first book that I'm actually going to be talking about is Ram Dass, Be Here Now, which is this book, which is the first spiritual book that I ever read. Besides, I guess, saying the Bible. So maybe I should say this is my second spiritual book that I've ever read. I guess outside the Bible. There we go. So those of you that are not familiar with Ram Dass was actually a guy that worked as a professor here in America, and then what ended up happening was he was doing experiences with LSD as well as psychedelics that he could get his hands on, acid, things of that nature. And he ends up going to India, where he meets a guru, where he learns to tap into his spirituality. He starts practicing meditation. He actually just passed away this past December, but I have a lot more to say about Ram Dass specifically because of a vision that I had about him recently. If you're on my Instagram, you are pretty familiar with it, so you probably saw what exactly happened. But other than that, the book is just absolutely beautiful. It has a lot of quotes in here that just really make you think. I have not been able to come across a book that even looks like this. I just love it. Really, really love it. So that's Remember Be Here Now by Ram Dass. Also, these books are going to be in the description, so if you are interested in them and you want to buy them, I'll leave the link to Amazon in the description. The second book that I'm actually going to talk about is Dolores Cannon, Between Life and Death. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with Dolores Cannon work. She has actually already passed on, transition, but Dolores Cannon was actually doing higher self regressions with people to actually learn about what happens when you actually pass on to the next life. And everybody had some of the same experiences. These people did not know each other. It talks about how there is no such thing as a hell. It talks about how there are like 3 different realms going into the afterlife. One has a school, one is for lower vibrational beings, and then one is what we classify as heaven. How colors are actually watered down here on earth compared to what they look like in heaven, and how everything in heaven is more so energy based. And in order to perceive it, you would have had to have experience having to do with higher vibrations here on earth. But you guys, this is an amazing read if you're trying to learn more, if you're going into things that have to do with possible past lives, having to do with the higher self. She has a lot of work that she's actually done, different books. And I have not read any of the other ones, but I do plan on reading other books by her, Dolores Cannon. Another book that I find simply amazing and is like a bestseller, so a lot of people always talk about it, is The Joys of Cleaning and Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. Now, the whole reason that I'm actually including this with spiritual reads has a lot to do with the case that, you know how the Bible actually says cleanliness is closer to godliness, if I'm saying that right. Now, the thing is that on the spiritual end, when you're actually talking about your house and organizing and having it clean, and believe me, just hear me out on this, believe me, this was not a book that I would have usually bought, but it talks about how you should only surround yourself with the things that spark joy in your life. Those of you might be you guys might be familiar with it if you watch the Netflix version of this, where she was actually helping to clean and tidy up, and she tells you exactly how you should organize your house. Now, mind you, when it comes on the spiritual end of being cleaner and having less clutter, this leaves less room for negative energy to be able to collect inside of your home, which is why I am including this book in this list of spiritual books. And I was able to read this book in like 2 days. It was just amazing. I absolutely loved it. Please don't mind the helicopters. But this is an amazing book. I had to rebuy it just so I could have it in my own personal library, because I sold it back because I was so inspired by the words in this book. So guys, check that out. The next book that I'm actually going to include in here actually comes by the same author. Now, in this case, so this book has been translated many different times by many different people. This is just the version that I have, although I have seen that some people would rather it be written a little different, but I'm going to tell you exactly how I read it, and that is the Bhagavad Gita. So the particular author and translator of this particular book is Eknath Easwaran. So now, it took me a while to get to the point to actually read in another religion, so to speak. Those of you not familiar, I don't really consider myself religious. I consider myself spiritual, because I read different things and I take from it what I need to really determine what I should follow. But the Bhagavad Gita has to do with the god Krishna. And it's actually told in kind of like a story having to do with a war. I can't remember the guy that he was with that was asking him all of the questions. But this actually touches on past lives, how if you get it wrong, you just come back again. And it does mention sin, but one thing that I feel like really interesting about this, they don't actually mention a hell. They just mention having to reincarnate again. It also talks a lot about seeing God in everyone, everything. It was just an amazing read. I will say that what I did was they have like a translation part, which might be helpful for someone else reading this. So they have a part that they talk about the definition of certain words beforehand of reading the particular scene. But I had to go through here with like a bunch of highlighters because there was just amazing quotes in here. I absolutely loved it. And it really did something for me. And after reading this, it was almost like I unlocked a different part of my brain or something, because I had more visions. That's when I had like that whole past life regression vision out of nowhere that I wasn't even looking to have. And this book inspired me to get another book that's actually having to do a lot with this one, and that is the Upanishads. So this is also by Eknath Easwaran. Well, translated by Eknath Easwaran, because this is a part of like a bigger book in Hindu religion called the Vedas, if I'm not mistaken. If I said that wrong, please correct me down below. I'm not trying to say that wrong. I'm not perfect. But I'm still currently reading the Upanishads. But this is having more so to do with the self and finding the self, finding the light within. So this book so far has a lot of parts that I've already had to highlight. But I bought this because this particular book mentions the Upanishads a lot and having to do with the 3 sages, I believe they said. So that's why I had to buy it, to find more out about this particular religion. So, I mean, even right here, it's like, I am my body. When my body dies, I die. Living in this superstition, they fall life after life under my sway. So it's still having to do with past lives. So this book is also really amazing and makes you think. All of these will make you think. And that's why I'm including that in this list. But let's move on to the next book. So the next book I'm actually going to include. And I ran across this book by mistake, but boy am I happy that I ran across it. It's called Conscious Inc. And it's by Lisa Beretta. Now, I bet you're wondering why exactly I included this in a spiritual list. So the thing is about tattoos, I had started researching it because I had a vision of a tattoo, and I was trying to figure out if it was something I should get, or I didn't know how to feel about tattoos exactly, because I grew up in a religion that was like really against it. You know what I mean? Like it was almost like you were going to go to hell for marking your body, but at the same time it was kind of pointless because this body is only temporary, which is why I was so confused. So I started doing research and found this book. So this particular book actually talks about how tattoos are able to unlock a certain part of your mind. They can unlock different levels of consciousness, how it can actually open you up to more visions, to connect you more. And it also has a lot to do with where exactly on the body that you would get a tattoo and what part of the subconscious mind that it would relate to. And maybe even if you have tattoos already, why maybe you got that tattoo and didn't even realize why. And it has some stories of people that have experienced things like they were going through certain pain and they got the tattoo and it actually helped to heal them, that part of them that they were having trouble with. There's a lady that was in here that actually is a tattooist that you can actually go and get a tattoo from, and she's a healing tattooist, so you don't actually get to choose the tattoo. She chooses the tattoo based upon what spirit tells her. The other book that I just got, I'm almost halfway done with it, is another Ram Dass book, and it's called Grist for the Mill. This book, guys, and I mean this in the best way possible, has really messed me up. And the thing is that it's really made me think about just, it's hard to explain. So it's about awakening to oneness and realizing that we're all one consciousness collectively. How can I explain this? When it comes to the Bible is very, this is good, this is bad, this person's good, this one's bad, this one's a heathen, you're saved. And when you walk through life like that, it's really hard to even connect with anybody or to see God in any of them, to treat people, treat everyone you meet with love. You get what I'm saying? So this book has really been trying to put it into perspective, I guess, and talking about the incarnation being something that you're supposed to learn within each incarnation. And so it does have a lot to do with past life, so to speak. But so far, this book has been really amazing. I would suggest it to anyone that's actually trying to look at the world differently. Would be a good way to really explain it. And the next book, do I have another book, guys? I guess that was my last book, guys. So with all of those books, those are my books that I would actually suggest to anyone that's actually diving into the spiritual realm and you don't really know what direction to go. Those books can actually really help lead you on a path if it's something that you're interested in. And they definitely did that for me. They really opened my eyes to a lot of things. But if you like the video, give this video a thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell down below. And if you guys are interested in my Metaphysical Shop, please check out the link down below, and I will talk to you guys later.